Good morning, everyone. This is day 4 of the clay test, and I am going to call this a successful test. Let me show you. All right, just to go over what has happened. Day 1, I applied this. The NW means no water. I applied this without water to this semi-rough area of this foam, and it's still doing good after 4 days. No cracks, not peeling off of the plastic either. Day 2, I applied this with water and several cracks formed. I'm still not sure if I used too much water or if I made the cut take 2. I'm not sure if I used too much water with this clay or if I applied the clay too thickly. I think that's the proper word, right? Thickly? Well, anyway, I don't know if the clay is too thick. So I'm sure one of those reasons is why it cracked, but I'll keep an eye on that as I work on the statue, because I will be using this air dry clay for the entire statue now, unless there's some long-term after effects and it cracks, months down the road. If that happens, I'll have to deal with it when it occurs. So there were some cracks, but that's something I can deal with. Okay. Day 3 of the test was down here on his abdomen. This was no water, and this was with water. That right there happened because I was trying to clean it up and I got careless with my vacuum cleaner. Let me see. So it's still solid, no cracks, except for where we at. Right here, there's a crack right there, and not sure why that happened. Maybe it was too thick because it was kind of tight. Man, there I am. It was kind of tight getting the clay off in there, so maybe it's too thick, but it's doing okay. And I just picked up more clay, so I'm about to get busy on this. Oh, one other thing I did yesterday was I roughed up his skin some more. After doing my test, I kind of figured it might need to be a little bit rougher, so I roughed it up, and I need to rough it up a little bit more too before I get started with this clay. So I'm about to do that and then get busy with the clay. Oh, one more thing. I still have to do one more test on his face. I might have to rough this up. The first test failed because I think it was too smooth, so I'm going to try that again. Also, I finally carved out part of his face so that the mask would fit on there a little better. Don't know if you can tell. That's his profile shot. That's his good side. And the toothpicks are there just to hold it in place because it's not permanently attached yet. So that's just temporary. Let's get a look from this side. Okay, that sun is messing up my shot. But there he is, folks. For some reason, he looks better from this side than he does from the other side. I think it's that claw hand. It looks badass. Makes him look mean and tough. All right, folks, I'll be back later on. Let me go ahead and get to work before that sun gets too hot, and then I'm going to have to get out of this garage for a while. Good Saturday morning, everyone. Today is April 26th, I believe, and I'm trying to keep track of the dates because I'm still having issues with the YouTube editor, and I've been recording and just putting the videos on YouTube as unpublished. They're starting to back up on me, and I'm losing track of when I recorded what. So to help me keep track of these things and keep them in order, I have to announce the date on here. So to make it easier on me and to keep track, to put it simply. All right. You hear any humming in the background? That's my battery charging up. I just cut some grass and I have to cut some more later once it charges. So in real life, I actually do have to do things other than record videos and make statues. All right, now where we are so far. Late last night, yes, I was burning the midnight oil again, folks, trying to get this thing done and not trying to rush it, but I don't want to run out of time and get into the winter months when it's too cold to do this. So I take advantage of the mornings and the evenings when it's semi-cool in my garage. So what I did last night was I applied some more clay to his abdominal area, as you can probably tell. I also did some paint tests. I believe that paint is, what was it, sienna? I guess I could get up and go look at the can, but I won't. When I get more into the painting, I'll tell you the color. I talked about it once, but I can't remember. Sienna, some weird color. But anyway, it's a dark colored red, and I think it's going to work. Let's get an up-close view. Even on that light background, on the whites, it still shows up dark, and I like that. And just a tint of, kind of a hint of light red in there, and I like that too. So it's not all just a dark red all over. It'll be a little bit light in some areas. I like that. So I'm testing that to see how it turns out on the clay once the paint dries on the clay, and once the paint dries on the styrofoam, because some areas of the figure will be covered with just a light layer of clay over the styrofoam. So I want to test it on the styrofoam as well. Okay, his face. Ooh, it's a face only a mother could love. Well, I guess in this case, only a father, since he has no mother. But let's see, that's better right there. Let me see, last night I also sprayed some white paint. You can't tell, I think the styrofoam soaked it up. But I sprayed some white right here on the eyes, as well as some black, as you can see, and some red, just to test it, just to trying to get an idea of where I want to place the eyes on his face, and to get a look at how it's gonna look. Well, cut, take two, and to get some type of idea of what his face is gonna look like once it's painted. All right, folks, and I think that's it for now. I'll be back with more later on this evening, probably, and show you the progress I've made. Thanks for watching. Bye. Hey everyone, it's the end of another day, and I got quite a bit done on Manny today. And you know what, it just occurred to me, pretty soon I'll have to stop calling him Manny, as he slowly becomes Carnage. So I'll have to refer to him as Carnage pretty soon. But I believe I started with the abdomen this morning. Got a lot of clay put on the abdomen, and as you can see, got quite a bit put on the upper legs. Let's zoom in so you can see some of the detail. And something I realized not last night, but this evening, I actually put the hot glue on there, and that's what you see, the little lines in the clay or underneath the clay. That's hot glue. I put the hot glue on here last night to give the clay something to adhere to stick to grab onto. But as I was applying the clay this evening, I realized that if I thin out that's not a word. If I thin out the clay enough, the hot glue will show through. Now, my original plan was to put hot glue all over the clay, and that was going to be the symbiote, the black part of Carnage. But it looks good the way it is right here. Let's zoom in again. It looks really good right there. So maybe I can just use that. Cut, take two. So maybe I can just apply the clay over the hot glue instead of putting the hot glue on the clay. I'll look into this some more. I'm going to put more hot glue on him, probably on the legs. Put more, I already have some on it, but I'll put more on there. And once I put the clay over it, I'll get a better look. That didn't come out right. So once I get the clay put on over the hot glue, I can get a better idea of what it's going to actually look like. So I'll look into that. So that's going to be it for this evening, folks. I am done for today. Let me wrap this up. So I hope you enjoyed this. Make sure you come back. Stay tuned. There's more to come. It's beginning to look a lot like Carnage each and every day. All right, folks. Thank you. Hello, everyone. Today is Sunday, April the 27th. It is Sunday evening, and this is where I am on my Carnage life-size project. The face is coming along. I still need to figure out exactly where his eyes are going to be. Sometimes I look at this and the eyes seem a little low. Sometimes I look at it, they seem kind of high. Right now they look kind of low. I think I might have to raise them up a little. And the mouth is coming along slowly. I'm taking my time with it. Like I said at the beginning of this project, one of the key factors in determining how well this comes out is going to be the head/face. If I mess that up, it's just going to ruin the whole thing. So that's probably going to be the last thing I finish on this project. So I'm taking my time with it, adjusting the jaws to get them in the right position. And I'll get a little bit closer and show you more of the head in a little bit. Let's look at the whole thing here. Okay, I added some more clay to the shoulders. As a matter of fact, the whole torso, I added clay in different spots. And there are some cracks going on right there above the collarbone. And I'll give you a close-up of those in a moment. Let's see. I can't remember where I left off last night, but I believe I left off in the groin area. Since then, I have done more on that right leg. I think I did that this morning. Could have been last night. Anyway, still working on that right leg. Added a little bit more width to that right foot. It's kind of narrow. That was just with hot glue, though. I'm going to use hot glue. I'm trying to avoid buying more spray foam. So I'm using hot glue to fill in some of the larger areas. Let me see. Also, I had to, you know what, let's get close up. Hold on, I'll be back. All right, let's talk about this face. I cut out his mouth area because I want to give him a tongue. Where is it at? Right there. That's going to be his tongue. That's going to be, I think it's called the palate of the mouth, the bottom of the mouth. That's going to be the palate. Maybe, is that right? I don't know. I'll look it up. But that's the bottom of the mouth, and of course the roof, the top of the mouth. And I'm thinking about yellow. The interior of the mouth, yellow. I'm not sure. I know it looks cool in pictures and drawings in the comics when it's yellow, but as far as a statue, I'm not sure. So, you know what, now that I'm saying it out loud, it's probably going to be a dark pink or red, dark red, kind of almost black red, cherry red color. So yeah, I think that would look better for this. All right, but yep, I cut away some of the mannequin's face here. Probably can tell there's a big gaping hole there, and I'll probably cut out more to give it more depth, and then put a lot of color in there. Let's see. What else? Okay, I think that's it for the head. Let's talk about these cracks. I already addressed these cracks here before. They've been here for a few days, but over the night, during last night, some more cracks formed up here on the shoulders. I've been filling it in with hot glue, and if they continue, I'll just have to keep filling them in with hot glue. Now, once I finish applying the clay to the entire statue, I'm gonna put it out in the sun, just let it bake for a day or two, and that would dry the clay out completely. If any cracks form during that time, what I'll do is get more clay, fill in those cracks, and that should resolve the issue. Hopefully it will, but that's my plan. Let me see, I've been studying a lot of anatomy, trying to get the ribs and the stomach muscles correct. I'd already found out that these are not the right size, but I can't redo these without redoing a lot, so I'm going to leave them like this. Now the bottom part of the stomach, the abdomen, I did fill in, and it's starting to crack again. I did fill in this. I had it like, oh, that's foam. I had it indented like right here, but after studying the anatomy pictures, I realized there's no indentation here. Well, there's a very slight one. So I fill this in. Let me see. And these are my measurements here from the neck. I measured it down so I can draw a line across and try to get everything even and balanced, because the ribs are a little off on this side. They higher than on this side, so I got to try to get all of that balanced. Still need to add more clay here, fill it in a little bit right here. And I added this hot glue because I'm starting to get a lot of situations where I apply the clay on top of clay and it's not sticking. So I'm putting hot glue in the areas that need more clay, and that hot glue helps the clay to stick better. Let me see, need to add some more here, right there. Let me see, what else? Okay, let's talk about the growing area. Some cracks were developing, I think right here and along here. So I put more clay over the cracks, and then I applied some hot glue to keep everything together. And I'm thinking that this is cracking because, one, it's still damp, still wet inside, and because this is like on the bottom side, there's no gravity is not holding it in place like up here with the rest of it, where it's like here or up on top, up here on this top part of the chest. There's gravity is not holding it down. It's actually pulling it down since it's on the bottom, and also from here. So I put hot glue to hold everything together. If it continues to crack, gonna use the same method as I mentioned before. Put some clay in here, fill the cracks, and hope for the best. Okay, let's see. Still working on that hand. I'm probably gonna go with the Freddy Krueger razor fingers, or yeah, the razor fingers. I like that. So still not 100% sure, but I'm kind of leaning toward that. Got to figure that part out, but I got time to do it. Let me see what else. I think that's about it. Let me go around. Oh, I did do some work on this heel claw right here. I hardened this with some hot glue, make it more firm. Yeah, it's not going anywhere now. Yeah, okay, so let me see. I think that's it, folks. I'm going to call this a wrap. I'm going to shut it down early tonight. Got other things to do, but I'll be on this bright and early tomorrow. And I'm still running behind schedule. I think I'm still trying to edit week 5, and I believe This is week 6. I should be posting week 6 today, but again, that YouTube editor is causing problems. I don't know what I need to do to fix it. But until then, I'll be running behind schedule until I get it fixed. All right, folks, I hope you're hanging there with me, and there'll be more to come, so make sure you stay tuned. Bye.